welcome to the first episode, episode 1. The one you saw last time was episode 0. Don't pay attention to it. This is the introductory episode. This is the origin episode.
I want to watch it.
Don't pay attention.
Don't pay attention to the detail. This is the origin episode where you find out if we got bitten by a radioactive badger or we got hit by a meteorite or whatever. We're going to go talk a little bit about ourselves, what we collect, what we buy, what we watch, just to get a feel of who we are and the areas of expertise that we think we're experts in. So I'll start off with myself, and my name's Henry, by the way. To my right is
Mike
and
Richard.
So I'll start first. I don't collect anything. I just collect dust.
You do it so well.
I do. I don't collect games, DVDs, movies. I used to collect comic books in the 80s and 90s. Cartoons. I'm kind of a movie buff, but I'm not really. You'll be amazed about the movies that I've never seen.
That's a show.
Totally. That's a show in itself.
Yeah.
But I'm comic book, pop culture geek. I stopped collecting comics right around the launch of the New 52, and I stopped cold turkey. But I read on the internet what's going on, or I'll stop by the store or whatever. But I don't buy or collect anything anymore. But I'm in the know. I watch TV, so I'm a fan of the DC shows and the Marvel shows, and of course the DC and Marvel movies. So that's about it. But my circle of friends is what keeps me attuned to everything else that's going on in the universe. So, Mike, what you got? What do you watch or do or follow, collect?
Well, I did collect comics as a child. I mean, not seriously. I would buy the odd book here and there when I liked the cover, when there was a big scuttlebutt about it in the schoolyard.
Pre-internet.
Yeah, definitely pre-internet.
What was the first book you bought?
The Spider-Man one, the McFarlane run. Yeah.
90s.
All the varying covers, chrome, gold. I had them all.
Green bag.
Yes. But didn't start seriously collecting again until I moved to Austin. And then kind of it petered off again because, financially it didn't make sense to have to be buying books. And then when I started working with Henry, full disclosure, we work together, Henry and I. We produce porno films.
Yes.
It's not at all true. Kind of true. He turned me on to some of the older titles that I hadn't read. Like he gave me All-Star Superman, and he gave me you gave me a lot of good stuff. He turned me on to Mark Millar's work, and that kind of led me into the obvious past, collecting Walking Dead and a lot of the graphic novels. Just catching up. I mean, Watchmen. I never read Watchmen until Henry kind of revived my love of comics again. And of course, all the films and TV shows that go with him. So.
You're a Vertigo Neil Gaiman fan?
Oh, huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Preacher,
loved Preacher. I like a lot of the Dynamite Comics stuff.
Yeah.
The Boom Comics stuff. I like the creator-owned properties probably a good deal more than the big AAA titles that the big Marvel and DC releases. Haunt was great. Well, McFarlane was writing it.
Yeah.
But that's sort of my little bubble I live in. It's a lot of really indie. I'm a comic hipster. What can I say?
A little bit of video games. You have some video game knowledge.
Sure.
No?
I'm bad at just about every game I play, if that's what you mean. But I do like playing games quite a bit. It's sort of what I do in my downtime. I like indie titles on that too. But I love me a good AAA. Put me in front of Call of Duty, and I'm sort of at home, although I'm not great at it.
I follow Call of Booty. Thank you. All right. So what else you got, Mike?
That's it for me. I want to toss to Rich.
Sure,
Rich seems to be
enthralled,
corked up. He's ready to blow.
I'm just. It's interesting stuff. I'm a little older, or I don't know. Did I just read different books? I think you and I, Henry, started reading books around the same time. Maybe you were reading a little bit earlier. I started reading comics when I was a freshman in college.
Oh, that's late.
That's when, yeah. I wasn't reading. I really wasn't reading before that.
I didn't know when you started. I was in the 80s, man.
Legends of the Dark Knight had just come out. I missed Dark Knight Returns. So I I didn't know what all the fuss was about. I think Tim Drake's Robin had just come out.
Sounds about the time, yeah.
And then like the whole Marvel explosion. I read everything. I read X-Men. I read Spider-Man. I read Batman, Detective, that kind of stuff. And then when Image happened, I tried almost every title. We all
I think everybody did at that point.
We collectively, I think, all laughed at Liefeld's stuff, and we all really liked Jim Lee's stuff. It just never came out
on time
regularly.
Sure.
Spawn was really interesting until we realized the speedometer odometer thing would never. I don't know. I just kind of. I guess he's never going to run out of power.
No.
I don't know
what happened. The premise behind that was that it was a finite amount of power.
And then okay. But I mean, it was all of that stuff was cool. I was really into all of that stuff. I love the art. I was a huge Silvestri fan. I was a huge Portacio fan. Jim Lee, obviously, Todd McFarlane, Michael Turner, came onto the scene, and, a lot of that stuff. But for me, reading wise, I kind of gravitated towards authors, towards writers more after the onslaught in X-Men and like the Spider Clone saga. A lot of that stuff just kind of, and then.
Well, the 90s were a bad time
and then
for
0
comics.
Hour, it was just a lot of just bad decisions from both companies.
Well, the 90s were a bad time. I remember it almost imploded because of the hologram covers and all the variants. There's still variants now. I know.
The collectors did that.
Yeah.
This book's going to be worth something.
But it almost imploded because a lot of people were dependent on it, thinking they were going to be collector's items.
We're going to go to college on this book.
Sure. Like my collection of Beanie Babies.
Right. And then you look at it's like anything. You don't get market saturation like these things here.
Right.
I mean, granted, there are a few that are difficult to find.
It's supply and demand, though, I think.
Well, there's a difference between a collector who collects things because they collect things and someone who thinks they're going to get rich off of them. And that's what happened with the comic market in the 90s. There were people that were buying books that were collecting books because they collected books. And then there were other people that were buying them because they're going to be worth money someday.
But everything that you buy, doesn't that already make you rich?
Well, my name is Rich.
Oh, that's why.
I know that's where you're going.
Yeah. Let me get a beer.
I did buy. I bought a little, but I kind of started gravitating towards writers. I think I have the first maybe 10 issues of Powers that Bendis released.
Oh, that was brilliant work.
Really,
man.
really good
that was
stuff.
Such good stuff.
But because of his work on Powers, it got me to getting a lot of his graphic novels like Torso and Fire, and I just really liked his stuff. Greg Rucka stuff. I think probably my favorite story, and I think this is why I'm such a more of a DC fan, is because in my mind Marvel just never did that for me. Was the No Man's Land story in Batman. The earthquake and then everything that happened. Greg Rucka was mainly the primary writer for that, but he also did a lot of really good stuff. Queen and Country. He's done Whiteout. He's done a lot of really good stuff.
I've kind of gone into that same mode where I'm following the writers I love. Like anything Grant Morrison touches, I'm all over that. Anything Garth Ennis writes, I want it. Yeah. I don't care if it's good or bad. I know he's gonna write something off the wall, and I need it to be in my face. Who's the other one that writes all that whacked out stuff?
Millar, Morrison,
Alan Moore.
Alan Moore, obviously,
yes,
man. He's written some of the craziest stuff on Cthulhu lately that just blows me. I'm like, why is this guy writing this stuff?
What is he on?
Yeah, man. I mean, and it's pretty much a love song to the fans of his, because he's not looking to make any money off of this. Because you can probably count the number of people that bought that. Well, obviously you need a lot of fingers, but it probably was in the thousands and not in the hundreds of thousands. He wasn't selling. There wasn't multiple runs of it, so far as I know. But I'm happy to own some of the stuff that was first printing. Part of me as the collector.
Yeah,
once it for myself, I'm happy to I bought that first run. I was so into the writing.
I was there from the beginning
that I knew this was going to be okay. So that badge of honor of just being the collector for collecting's sake, I get that.
But like another one that I strongly recommend to anybody, and I don't think anybody's read, is Kabuki by David Mack.
I hear his name dropped a lot, and I haven't
David
touched
Mack
his stuff.
Is just. Well, do you remember the Marvel Knights Daredevil that Quesada started with Kevin Smith?
Yes.
Okay, Kevin
Yes, yes,
Smith,
yes.
right? Guardian Devil.
Sure.
And I want to say that the Affleck Daredevil movie was loosely based on that story.
It was that bad.
No, well, loosely based.
Yeah.
Loosely based. The story itself was
Sure.
was really good,
Sure.
but loosely based, you know. But after I think Smith had his first few issues, and David Mack came in and wrote a story. I don't remember the name of the story, but the introduction of the character named Echo. She was it's just an amazing story. And so yes, writers, you know, who started out indie and then have done some. There's been some good mainstream stuff. I mean, even like Miller's Year One. And my favorite, also another one of my favorite stories is Frank Miller's Daredevil: The Man Without Fear. That's I think he did with Romita. It was like a 6-issue miniseries. There's been some really good.
I kind of
things.
find myself following artists too, because I like Romita's art a lot. It's very stylized. The work he did on Kick-Ass was just.
Right.
I mean, that is
Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass. When I think of Kick-Ass, I think of Romita's art.
Yeah.
Just like I think of like Sean Gordon Murphy when I think of. There was a couple of what was it? There was a Hellboy and a Hellblazer run that he did. It's a real scratchy artwork. It's real rough and raw, but I mean,
Mignola's very like that.
yeah, and it really works. And then Capullo's Batman just blows my mind every time I look at it. I mean, he is the quintessential artist for.
That could be the definitive. And Lee's Batman was pretty good. You know, when it came out with the Hush run and all that
Right,
stuff.
totally.
I think Lee's was kind of like the iconic, and I think didn't he redesign all the characters for 52?
I think so. I mean, I think he owns a lot of covers.
And I believe he
on
had
the
some
new
input
run.
on designing the characters for the Arkham games as well.
You can see
But
it. You can see the influence.
Capullo's Batman stuff is just it's awesome.
And you know, follow the guy on Twitter, people, because the guy will post the most amazing sketches. You get to see his day-to-day work, and it is really awesome to see an artist from paper to ink, to full coloring. I mean, the man takes serious pride in the work. So, I mean,
It's
you
really
guys,
good.
if you aren't following him, please do, because
It's really good stuff.
it's interesting shit.
Yeah, for sure.
And what else do you collect? Do you collect anything else, perhaps,
Well,
Richard?
the funny thing is, I don't collect comics all that much anymore.
Right.
Not because of story or anything. It's just I got into collecting. I collect movies. I collect Blu-rays.
You get a thing for steelbooks, don't you?
I collect steelbooks from Korea, steelbooks from China, steelbooks from the Korean from the.
Where does
the
one
Czech
find
Republic.
these things? Are you on eBay?
It's on the
looking for this
interwebs.
stuff?
The dark web.
It's all in the dark. It's on the dark web.
You find a white hat to help you.
There are some really cool stuff. I mean, do I open them? No. Do I watch them?
What,
Hell no.
Explain what's the appeal of steel books? How is
It's
it different?
just the appeal of for any collector, and I'm going to be the first person to tell you this. It is a disease. It is probably cheaper to smoke crack than it is to collect what I collect.
Well, we'll collect comic books
But-
or anything else, really.
I mean,
Pops.
monetarily, but I mean, the toll on your body is probably a good deal higher with the crack.
I could not explain why I have to have it. I just have to have it. And it started with just traveling to Best Buy to see, okay, I like buying movies. I like owning movies, movies that I like. And I think it started with Man of Steel.
Man of Steel book.
I went to Best Buy and I was looking around. I was like, well, which one has the most extras? Which one has the most extra features and all that stuff? And I was kind of like, nah, I don't know. And then I went to Walmart of all places and I saw a steelbook of Man of Steel. And it was kind of banged up a little bit. Those things...
Not for nothing. Walmart's had some pretty solid, exclusive releases.
They do have exclusive. And now all of these retailers have their own exclusive release. It all kind of started from that. Best Buy was doing steelbooks too with some of their Disney releases. So I kind of got into it and the bug bit. And I already had probably at the time about 400 movies just
Jesus.
on Blu-ray. Okay. I started with the steelbooks from then. I kind of stopped buying Amarays, which is what the plastic case is called. They're called Amarays. I stopped buying those. I went to steelbooks and now I'm up to about 700 Blu-rays around. About 300 steelbooks, and a lot of them now are just strictly niche boutique dealers from Korea, from China, that the runs are so small. We're talking 2,000 worldwide.
So in a future episode, we're gonna have a Richard Cribbs visit and just see the sadness.
I have one that was the initial print run was 100 copies for the world. It was the first release of this Czech company called Film Arena. and they've become very, very popular right now. You can check them out on filmarena.com. It's the Film Arena Collection, and they've just now their runs run about 2,000 per numbered. They're all numbered issues.
That's kind of cool.
And so they've just picked movies that they get in license, and some of them are.
I feel like I would have to own the film already on another usable format before I committed to that.
Well, you know, nowadays you got Netflix and all these other ways. You can watch the movie at some point. It's not that big a deal. And most of the movies, we go to the movies a lot. So
we do.
Most of these movies I've already seen anyway. And then I also collect Funko Pops and like mystery minis. I kind of dabble in little things like that. You know, I figured. I'm a star, but you know they have all kinds of licenses.
Yeah, these the wife actually likes quite a lot.
They're really cool.
Yeah, I mean they're good decoration, like our computer room. One of these days I'll do a video in there, and you'll see she's got a shelf full of these, and they look awesome on there. They're really cool, even in the boxes.
Yeah, they're really cool. I normally do keep them in the box, but I stumbled across these, and I thought they'd be pretty cool, just like have a little army there, kind of standing there.
That is pretty sweet.
So, but yeah, I mean, and TV. I watch a lot of TV. A lot of TV. It's not even funny. So it's just a matter of opinions. I've got it.
Sure.
Right on.
Sounds about right. So we think with the three of us have some knowledge of what we think what we're talking about. We're experts. So that was our introductory episode. So I guess where can we follow you?
You can follow me on Twitter at Mikey Leal. Link right here in front of my face. Graphic will pop out like this. Richard?
I'm on Twitter, although I have a Twitter. I don't know that I'm on it. I'm still trying to figure out how to use it. But I am at Dicky_V. It's here somewhere. And we'll see what I can do with that. And of course, I'll probably be posting stuff on our Facebook page.
Sure, absolutely. And so make sure you like and subscribe us. Follow us on Twitter, THYD Show. And any comments, suggestions, hate mail towards whoever.
It's okay. I got muscle. It's all right.
Yeah. So feel free to comment below, and we'll address any comments, suggestions, or whatever in future episodes. So thank you very much for joining us, and see you next time.
See you guys. Bye.